Mic check, mic check. Mike DeForge, Ventura County Fire Department.
We just have a name for those of you that are getting ready. All right. Chief Scott Gower.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike DeForge. I'm the Public Information Officer for Ventura County Fire Department. We're about to give you a brief here. Today is November 1st on the Maria fire, and it's 12 noon. Our first speaker is going to be Chief Lorenz with Ventura County Fire Department.
Good afternoon, Mark Lorenz, Ventura County Fire Chief. We are in the middle of a big fight. We are about a week into this, and the end is not yet in sight. I just wanted to recognize the partnership that we have with CAL FIRE and Cal OES and all of our Southern California partners, everybody that's responded to protect our communities just like it's their own. As we know, the fire started yesterday evening about 6 p.m. and it has been an uphill battle ever since. We are finding that the winds are starting to change, and that presents its own challenges all by itself. As the wind shifts, we have a whole new fuel bed that opens up and is subject to a pretty significant firefight. Our firefighters, 500 of them, are still actively engaged in structure protection. We have new evacuations occurring at this moment. The sheriff will touch on that. And the fire size is just under 9,000 acres. My request to the community is, again, please stay active and engaged. Please have a plan and be ready to go at a moment's notice should you receive any kind of word through our social media, through VC Alert, or through any of the sheriff's media outlets. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our sheriff. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Ayub, Sheriff of Ventura County. At this time, we have about 50 deputy sheriffs and volunteers assisted by the California Highway Patrol and Santa Paula Police Department, maintaining security in neighborhoods that have been evacuated, providing road closures, and evacuating a mobile home park in the Santa Paula area. Was just recently threatened by fire that's jumped into the river bottom north of the South Mountain area. Currently, we have approximately 2,300 structures threatened and about 8,000 people under evacuation orders. The evacuation area encompasses the State Route 126 to the north, to the east, Malcolm Canyon Road and Palm Avenue, to the west, Los Angeles Avenue and Briggs Road, and to the south, State Route 118. Currently, we have a shelter open at the Camarillo Community Center, 1605 Burnley Street in Camarillo. Large animals are being accepted at the Ventura County Fairgrounds and at the Earl Warren Showgrounds in Santa Barbara. Small animals are accepted at the Ventura County Animal Shelter at the Camarillo Airport. Our Todd Road Jail facility is near the evacuation zone and fairly close in proximity to the fire. But currently it is not threatened. The air quality in the facility is good. The inmates and staff are sheltering in place. There's 769 inmates at that facility. Last night and early morning, we had individuals flying small drones in the area of the flight operations for the fire suppression. This creates a very significant hazard for our airborne firefighting assets and causes them to land and stop firefighting efforts until that small aircraft is out of the area. I encourage in the strongest terms anyone interested in doing that to not do so. It is illegal and it creates a very dangerous environment and hampers our firefighting efforts. Thank you.
Good afternoon. John McNeil with Ventura County Fire Department, and I'm one of the incident commanders of the Maria incident. We are in unified command with our partners CAL FIRE and the Ventura County Sheriff's Office. At 6 p.m. tonight, we've had conversations with CAL FIRE, and we're going to bring in additional assistance from CAL FIRE in the form of an incident management team. And what that'll do is it'll bring significant resources to help manage the fire in front of us. A little bit on the fire itself. It continues to back down South Mountain. As you know or may not be aware of, the fire started at the high point of South Mountain, up where we have communications infrastructure. Some of those sites enhance the public safeties of Ventura County, the ability to communicate. So a high priority area to protect. It's kind of back down the mountain on the Somis side, the Satacoy side, the Santa Paula side, and on the fourth corner of it or side of it is the eastern edge of it. And we continue to put contingency containment lines on that in anticipation of some wind shifts that are predicted or forecasted later this afternoon. So we have a great plan to hold that eastern edge. The current priority is the fire that has backed down on the Santa Paula side has actually got established in the river bottom, and it is being influenced by some kind of battling winds, and we do have some structure threat, imminent structure threat, and I had some information coming into this briefing that we may have one of those structures currently on fire. So we have a heavy presence in there, not only on the ground, but with our aircraft. As you walked into this press conference, I'm sure you heard some aircraft overhead. Quite a robust fleet of aircraft, not only fixed wing, but helicopter aircraft also. We continue to enforce the evacuation areas, and we'll continue to protect the structures in the area, the infrastructure that I talked about, the oil fields, and our ag properties in there. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Joe Serrard from the National Weather Service in Oxnard. So last night when the fire began, the local wind sensors were showing winds around 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 35 miles an hour. The winds continued last night and through this morning with relative humidities in the 4 to 8% range, very low single-digit humidities, which continued into this afternoon. The winds continue through the afternoon, we expect, and it looks like we may have a brief period of onshore winds with around 5 to 10 miles an hour at lower elevations of the fire zone this afternoon, and then it looks like this evening we'll get winds turning back to the northeasterly offshore direction, which will continue overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. We currently have a red flag warning in effect for the fire area. The red flag warning has been in effect for this region since Tuesday night this week. So it's been a long duration, very dry air mass over the region, and now it's starting to warm up too. So today we have temperatures in the lower 80s around the lower elevations of the fire zone. So with the higher temperatures and the lower humidities, it's going to make things even more difficult for the firefighters out there with the hot weather. So it looks like another day of warm temperatures tomorrow as well, with the red flag warning may be extended into tomorrow afternoon. Right now it looks like the winds will continue, as I mentioned earlier, overnight tonight into tomorrow with wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles an hour. We could have some gusts up to 35 miles an hour on the ridge tops overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. So as a result, our office is looking at the data very closely. It looks like we may be extending that red flag warning through 6 p.m. tomorrow. And then beyond that, it looks like we're going to have single-digit humidities right into early next week. Winds will be lighter, but we will still have critical fire weather conditions isolated at times, and certainly elevated fire weather conditions through that period. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to open up for questions. Do we have any questions for fire operations?
I have a question regarding
Go ahead with your question.
I have a question regarding the movement of flames. You say that it's turning back on itself. How is the wind shift actually changing the process today?
So the topography of the footprint of the fire that we're dealing with, it's an east-west ridge, South Mountain is, and on the north side of it is a river drainage. And down low in the river drainage, the winds currently are actually, they're switching back on us. They're more of a from a southwest direction. The predominant winds up at the higher elevations, and since this fire started, have been from the east and the northeast. So that's the opposite opposing winds. So as the fire got low on the Santa Paula side down in that river drainage, it reversed on it. We had a plan for that. It's challenging us right now into some of the structures on the other side of that riverbed in the city of Santa Paula.
Not being an expert, though, doesn't it seem as if it's already burned something and then it gets turned back on itself? That's nothing to burn.
It's more of a lateral spread than a reverse spread, yeah. Like a 90 degree. Any other fire-related questions?
I have one about the drones. Those guys get arrested?
That's a better answer coming from the sheriff's department.
We're going to have law enforcement here too. Do we have any questions for law enforcement? We'll go ahead and have them answer that if they have the answer for it. Sheriff?
I heard a question asked about whether an arrest had been made for individuals flying drones in the air. There have been no arrests made as of yet. There will be an investigation that stems from the incidents that we've experienced, and we'll make those results of those investigations publicly known. There could be state and or federal charges brought to bear.
Any additional questions? All right. Do we have any questions for the National Weather Service? Any questions for the National Weather Service? So this concludes our press conference. Following after this, we're going to have a Spanish language press conference also, so tune in for that. We'd like everyone to follow us on vcfd.org and visit VC Emergency for additional information. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Stay safe out there. And then, just so you guys know, we're going to have another press conference at 6 o'clock.